Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Smuggler's Notch Resort for Round 3 Back 9 coverage of the MPO League Card here at Discraft's Green Mountain Championship. I am Jeremy Koling, joined on my left by Brian Earhart. Big Hart commentary coming at you. Ricky Wysocki holding on to a lead.
I mean, this entire card has not played super clean. I think the one who's playing the cleanest is Chris Dickerson, who still missed a couple of Circle 1 putts. No one quite in a rhythm right now. Isaac Robinson starting really fresh with a 5 down through the first 6 holes and then kind of fizzling out 7, 8, 9. Back 9 gets tough.
It certainly does. I believe Gannon Burr's 7 under on the front 9 was with 0 pars. I think he had 8 birdies and a bogey. So he is out there on the course right now, shredding up the course. We also have Greg Barsby at 7 under, so there's some guys that are trying to get up on that lead card for final round. But first, let's get to hole 10, second hardest hole on the day, 475 feet downhill, absolute dream hole. I mean, you just take this hole with you anywhere in the world you go. I played this hole about 80 times a year in my head, and I still don't have a birdie. Ricky almost cans the ace. Wow, what a perfectly laced shot. Late drift just to stay straight the whole way.
I mean, if you have the power, mid-range is perfect for this shot. Buzz for
That's
Chris.
what that was? That was a mid?
That was a compass, yeah.
Oh, boy.
But that's what's cool about this distance, kind of 470 downhill. Some players are throwing even a putter sometimes. Some are throwing distance driver. Yeah, look, Paul's going putter.
What? Oh, he's trying to go over the trees.
He goes over. He clips some cabbage early, and that was really short.
Interesting.
I'm wondering why he prefers challenging the ceiling like that. I'm wondering what his thoughts were. Yeah, now we're going to see driver for Isaac. I think it's a really cool distance. Opens up some creativity.
It was significantly easier from just that 60 feet closer tee pad. You had more space to swing out the drift shot as Isaac clears the crowd down left. That 475 distance, it really is perfectly suited for this hole. McBeth from 85, 90 feet. It's about as far of a miss as you're going to see from him from that range.
There's really not a lot from where he's at. A lot of low ceiling, easy par. That's why it's one of the harder holes in the course. It's not necessarily so much danger. It's just a lot of players take par.
Chris drifting a bit left. And Ricky an opportunity to gain a stroke on the card. Increase that lead to 2 shots over Isaac and Chris. And you know he's going to take advantage of it. Still hasn't missed a putt in the circle. This is kind of a strange shout-out because that didn't happen at this tournament, but a member of the Am World Champion Club, Stephen Jacobs, aced this hole. I mean, I just have to mention it because it's just such a dream ace. I couldn't even imagine. It was in a tournament. I believe maybe the Brewster Ridge Open.
Stephen Jacobs is a baller. I have played a lot of disc golf with that man. Butter Train, as he's affectionately known.
Butter Train.
Smooth as butter.
I love that. Yeah, he's a Charlottean now.
Chris tapping in the par.
A nice bonus birdie there for Ricky. Only 16 players in this abbreviated field. We're not playing in the normal 113, 114 player count. This is a 95 player field that's going to get shrunk down to 39, I believe, plus ties after this round for the final round.
And here we go, hole number 11, 620 downhill flex shot, par 4. This is an eagleable green if you throw a perfect flex shot with the right disc. A lot of players are just trying to crash in the middle and get up and down.
Yeah, last year I believe we only saw 1 eagle from Emerson Keith. Didn't see any in the first round. Ricky Wysocki's not going to be eagle in this one. Well, he's back in the middle now. That was a great double kick. My goodness.
Yeah, you can literally birdie from way up the fairway on this hole.
I think if you make this corner,
Yeah.
you're in position as long as you're in the fairway. And Chris Dickerson should be as long as he doesn't get any wacky kicks.
That's fine.
Yeah, well thrown. When is McBeth going to get on a run? He's just off, a little bit off.
He told me at Des Moines that he hasn't felt like he's been in what people call McBeast mode all season. So maybe the first time was at Worlds this year.
Oh,
but
did you watch European Open? I mean, come on. Wow, big shot for Isaac. He played incredible. I mean, his score bested all the other European Opens that he's won.
I bet if he won the tournament, he would have said that. But
I mean, it's his opinion to be able to say, of
yeah.
course. But like
just an interesting thought.
It's an interesting thought.
Yeah. And from the very top of the hill, standstill, terrible reaction. Well, what a shot!
That was a horrible break with the root. Great shot though.
It's gonna be about 33 feet from the basket. Here's Rick. Got to capitalize on this nice break he got. Oh no!
Just a bit off. I liked that angle. That's where the approach opens up the widest. You just got to beat that corner. Chris finding a tight line. This is going to be going left and a bit long. C2 look coming. What does Isaac have? Not really good look for the eagle, but fantastic drive. Very easy birdie coming. I mean, we got a couple. I got some shout outs to give, but we're going to watch these putts first. Chris, once again, just not crisp right now. He's made some C2 putts, but he's missing some putts he'd like to have back. McBeth in for the birdie. All right, so Ricky, Wysocki, Chris, and Isaac are all close, so I got to give these shout outs. Matt Oram laces this drive, makes his putt from 15 feet. Jake Hebenheimer makes a putt from 38 feet. But Emerson Keith does it again from 5 feet.
What?
Taps in the eagle. 2 consecutive years, he has taken a 2 on this 620-foot tight downhill par 4.
God bless him.
No kidding. Incredible. I was scrolling down the numbers right there thinking Matt Oram was the only one, and I saw there was 3 eagles on the day. So hats off to you guys. Wow.
And another one of these kind of elevation control par 3s, 430. Subtle bend off to the left. If you just throw straight and land softly, you're going to have a pretty much park job. Those stones kind of right at the edge of C2 block anything from sliding in, so you really want to fly this green and hit the brakes. I like the putter from Paul here.
He's really been leaning heavy on this thing today. Really, his whole tenure with Discraft, he's been going heavy Luna. We've seen that disc come out quite a bit today. That'll be maybe 35 feet. This is a bit wide. Needs to get some late stability. And yeah, good little reaction.
And Ricky just keeping it simple. Nice and flat. Got to check up.
Yeah, it's going to be closer to 40. Downhill to an elevated basket. See if Chris can get off this par train. This is a good looking drive right here.
45.
There he is. Yes. You know, he's missed a lot of putts, but guess what he's doing? He's given himself a ton of opportunities. Those putts are eventually going to drop for him. Still playing a clean round.
Yeah, he hasn't shanked too much. Everything's just been a tiny bit off.
Oh, hammers that one with authority. Making that putt high on the elevated basket is just so much confidence, especially with that speed.
He's got the framed up look, too. I mean, I'd love to see Ricky's framed up putting percentage because that, yeah.
If they could keep that stat somehow.
Statman will get on it.
I think framed up putting percentage might go to this guy right here, though. Might not have been framed up this time, but when he has a gap, McBeth is one of the best at hitting him. How many times he's made putts that we were just like, where did that even come from?
And chink in the armor for Isaac. Missing low. No one really pulling away.
Yeah, you don't want to give Ricky too many strokes. I mean, he starts feeling a little bit of distance between him and the rest of the field. He feeds off that.
Yeah, and again, he hasn't looked amazing, but he's still
right there.
Yeah, playing great. Hole number 13, another technical par 4, 570. Another subtle bend in the fairway. You can go with the Stockheiser forehand, but you could fade out early into the right side where you have no look at entering this funneled tunnel leading up to the basket with a little bit of a slope. Backhand turnover is actually a decent shot if you want to risk the bounce off the tree's left, but the forehand has to push more forward than it does sideways.
This is too forward. Not enough fade there for Ricky's felon. That's going to hit tree and kick down into the middle. That will be a lengthy second shot. Chris putting some flex on with the Raptor. That is a good shape for the fairway. You don't want to skip too far right. He'll have a look. Yeah, the crowd likes it from back there, but they don't see where McBeth is, and that's not a good spot being that tucked off the right side.
You just have to work so much harder throwing the backhand turnover. It's such a touchy shot.
A little bit early on the turn for Isaac, but he seemed to have missed everything. Ricky.
Oh my gosh, he's just had some nasty kick distance today.
He just, that face of just like, really, again? Needs to turn quick, and that kick isn't brutal. But if that gets on the other side of those trees, even off to the road, just getting up and down from the 80 feet is just, it's bleak.
And Dickerson sneaking through that left side. That's going to be circle's edge. Not bad. Take what you can get on this green. Oh, look at this gap.
Wow. And advances a little bit. Yeah, a decent amount, but not a birdie look, I don't think. If it is, it will be from distance. Let's see what Ricky has after this just horrible. I mean, he's got nothing. He's got Nottingham Forest in the way. And never mind, he's fine. What? How do you just get out? I mean,
just throw it up.
Yeah. Yeah, so kind of a quasi-birdie look. Chris from the knee. Just a bit low, but once again, I mean, he's giving himself birdie looks. He's just not capitalizing all of them, but he's still fine.
Par save again for Ricky.
What a scramble. I mean, that reminds me of the work that he had to do back on hole 4.
Yeah. I mean, that's got to be scramble of the year for Ricky on hole 4.
Yeah, that was... You don't scramble from there.
All right, so hole 13, giving the card a little bit of trouble.
Surprising to not see one birdie on this hole for our card.
Representing Discraft, 5-time world champion Paul McBeth. Your leader, Aaron Gossage.
Can Aaron rewrite a news story? Paul has not missed that. Oh, what a shot. Oh my gosh. Come on. Oh man. It's like you can't write that. We are not done yet. What a story. What an event.
6-time world champion. King's got his crown back.
All right, hole number 14. New hole, 300 feet, uphill, dog leg right. This is a hole that a lot of players this year are calling just kind of a poke and hope. There's that tiny gap. You can try to sneak a forehand through that puts you at the edge of circle 1. As a forehand thrower, Jerm, do you think you have to flip something up here, or is it just a stock hyzer?
I think flip up works best to shape the fairway with the greatest amount of room. Ricky is pushing this one long and straight, and he's playing the poke and hope route.
Yeah.
And he gets through. But if you want to hit the initial fairway, I think the best play to get yourself close with the fewest amount of trees in the way, you're putting yourself at about 20 feet short of the pin with a flip up around the corner. Kind of what Chris is doing here. That's exactly it. I mean, that's not a super overstable disc, but it's not an understable disc. It's just a nice stable flight around the corner. Give yourself a good look up the hill. This is going to bring roots into play or rocks. There's just the ground play. You just can't rely on it out here for anything. Sometimes you get the skips, but most of the time you're going to be hitting something that you just can't predict. I like the play here. If you can control the ceiling for that type of shot, I mean, good on you. He'll really like this hole when they limb up a little bit higher ceiling and move that basket back.
Oh! What a rocket.
All right, someone shoot that disc down. Pew, 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 pew. That does not need to roll away after that incredible effort.
Wow.
And he had to give it every bit of that speed through that ceiling. Guess what? Chris Dickerson, 8 under, another birdie opportunity.
Isaac has definitely slowed down a little bit, but that's a nice birdie. That's some nice momentum there. That was a really nice backhand turnover.
I mean, slowed down, and yet he's 25 under. He's got a bogey within his last 9 holes. Meanwhile, Ricky's playing great, scrambling phenomenally, and he's only 2 back. And he's tied with Chris Dickerson, who doesn't seem to be struggling. I mean, that's just something about Isaac Robinson's game. He just is right there in the mix. Onto the hardest hole on the course, par 3, 400 feet, island. It plays as an island. You have to get over the rock wall and stay in the rock wall. The play is just a backhand that subtly moves left the entire way. You got to make that initial gap, and then from there, it's a pretty wide fairway. But the nerves on the tee are really what make this hole so tricky, knowing that if you miss this initial gap, it's instant, absolute guaranteed bogey.
Oh, I love this.
Can't do much better than that.
Another 400-foot mid shot. Just shapes up so nicely.
There just seems to be no nerves. I mean, I know that they're feeling nerves because I know that they're human. They look like they're human. But it doesn't seem like they're experiencing nerves the same way that most players experience them when they're on this tee. It's a very tight gap.
Yeah, I mean, when you're that good of a backhand thrower, you just have to trust your alignment on the tee pad. Your body's just going to take care of the rest. Misfire.
Well, Spoke a bit too soon. McBeth shows that he is indeed human, and pretty big air here. Going to proceed to the drop zone. Pretty simple hyzer for him, but yeah, that is going to work out. But man, that could have not worked out just as easily.
Yeah, that was a really nonchalant throw from. I don't even think he took a warm-up stroke.
Mm-hmm. Not an easy up and down. I thought Isaac's tee shot looked great, but where he ended up, it was a very difficult up and down. He's got to make a putt from 30 feet if he wants to save the par.
Oh, yeah.
Now he's heating up.
It's interesting. Some of his putts have little to almost no wobble. Some of his putts look like they have one rotation on them when they get to the basket. I don't know if he does it intentionally or he's just straight up just intuition when he's putting, but that was a nice birdie putt there.
It's just so smooth. Has anything in your life ever been as easy seeming as Isaac Robinson's 30-footers?
I would say Velcro shoes when I was when I was younger. That's the only thing I can think of, Jeremy.
That's a phenomenal answer. Off the top, just quick.
Anyway, here we go. Another downhill par 3, 385. Couple lanes here. If you want to go with the backhand turnover, you can take this early gap, flatten something through this blind 15-foot gap. Not necessarily one that I would recommend. A lot of the players are throwing that just hard downhill forehand with something overstable, skipping it, usually left of the basket. This is a hard one to bullseye.
Ricky, this looks good. Coming in with some speed. And it looks like the ground play gives him a bit of that Velcro shoe action.
Just sticks, Jeremy. He's been chopping this Raptor all day. Yeah, a little bit of Annie out of the hand.
I love that play for this hole. It really seems to suit this new gap with that big tree that's been cut down. It puts the brakes on. It shapes the fairway perfectly. Really well thrown shot from Chris. And once again, birdie opportunity coming.
So Isaac has to go early. This is way harder.
Rolling the dice.
Wow.
And rolling sevens.
Great shot. He's been throwing that turnover just so well all day. I mean, he has to.
Yeah, he has to.
He has no other option.
And that seems to have worked out. Yeah, all four players in the circle. A bit of a tricky putt, but it's framed, and you know what that means.
Plus 20 points.
Yep.
To putting stats, and that's a beautiful birdie for Paul. Yeah, I mean, stock forehand downhill, just easy answer to this hole, especially with that big tree that came down.
Oh boy, Ricky, 100% C1 percentages coming into question there, high left, but it hits that one firm and drops straight down. I don't think that I would call this a stock forehand. I mean, it seemed that way for these players, but it's not just like throw one down there and have it curve around the corner. You have a very specific breaking point. You have a very specific speed, a very specific disc selection. All those things have to be met perfectly. Otherwise, your disc is going down the hill or it's kicking over the wall.
You're right.
So many things can happen. On to hole 17, Brian. This is one these players are going to want to get. Second easiest hole in the course.
Yeah, I mean, literally you can lay up to here with a putter and still have 250 feet up to the basket. Still, after all these years, players are still wanting to bend the corner. They want to throw something, control fairway driver. A lot of times just try to skip one up there as far as they can. I'm not sure why we don't see more plays like this. I think he's just going with a harp. A little early.
Oh, that's a fortunate break. If that just kicks down and goes in the creek, I mean, it's horrible down there. You hate it. Very good break to get through it. Yeah, Chris has got this turned over, but like you said, he's straight. He's on the other side of the creek. He should have some play to the pin. This is monster. This is a monster drive.
Wow, that's way up there.
Beats the corner. No! At no point did I not think that was exactly what he wanted out of his hand until it just didn't quite get to the corner fast enough.
Yeah, I mean, even being at the elbow, he was able to throw putter. So it's just an old school par 4.
Chris is, I can't even think of really many holes. Maybe 2 holes where he hasn't been putting for birdie. He's really just given himself opportunity after opportunity. Okay. That rock just, once again, just like the root that he hit on 11, just getting some really wacky ground play.
I mean, we've played enough rounds on this course to know what to expect, and you kind of desensitize yourself. But yeah, that's still sucks.
It's to happen consistently on the same round. It's just like, okay, I get it.
But yeah, this is another one of those holes. I really like the fairway, and you wonder if you can stretch this tee shot out to make them, maybe force them to throw a control driver or even a distance driver. It's just, the fact that you could probably go putter on this. It's just players are starting to outgrow some of these par 4s.
He thinks there will be some changes. Jeff Spring and Steve Brewster, there's been whispers about changes here, changes there. And like you mentioned on the front 9, there's just some parts of the course that they just can't access because of the nature preserve. And, they had to get some special allowances as Paul and Ricky both make their birdie putts from the edge of the circle to even be able to build onto like hole 15 and 16 at Fox Run. Those were situations where they had to go into those protected areas. And I think maybe for the World Championships returning in 2023, they might have to get some more of those special privileges extended. So we're going to have a star frame on 17, as we'd expect. 4 different ways of achieving that score, but these players are playing too well right now to give up the easy birdie on 17.
And now we have the most menacing bush in disc golf. It's such a straightforward hole. 344, dead straight, but this bush in the middle completely changes the strategy on this hole. We see flex backhands right. We see the little helicopter shot over the bush, trying to fall straight down. We see players, because of this shrubbery in the middle, struggle on this seemingly straightforward hole, but Ricky looks like he's going to go high.
Well, he went left of the tree, and it worked. Or the bush. Let's call it the bush.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what to label that one, but...
Look at that one get through. Chris is going to be parked for the 12 under.
It's a great finish. I mean, he finally picked up and cleaned up on this last stretch. And there's another attempt at that little helicopter shot. And a nice kick off the tree. Another pretty much tap-in birdie for Isaac. Great round from him, too. He's still right in the hunt. Man. A couple of off driving days for Paul McBeth. Yesterday at Fox Run was not crisp. Today, not very crisp. He mentioned after Fox Run that he was just really not in it mentally. And today, I kind of see more of the same.
It's nice when you're off days, you still somehow manage to scrap 6 under, though.
I mean, he's that good.
He's that good.
You know, he's
like just a total off day.
definitely.
And still, I mean, he made several 30-footers, several 35-footers, chained out of a couple long ones. You know, he almost put together a hot round still, not quite having it. Meanwhile, Chris Dickerson, bogey-free, birdies the last 5 holes to tie the hot round of the day at 12 under par.
But I can count 3 or even 4 putts that were very makeable that he just missed.
Yeah, he could have just gone
It's a 16
absolutely
under par.
bonkers mode for sure. And he missed a couple in the circle.
I mean, if he throws like that at Fox Run tomorrow, it's going to be pretty tough not to put up a fight against Ricky Wysocki.
Well, there you have it. Ricky Wysocki with some incredibly mean kicks this round and then finds par on all of them except for hole 2. Only has 1 bogey in the tournament. Hasn't missed a putt in the circle and then just blisters the back 9 for 7 birdies. Maintains that lead. In fact, he opens up a 2-shot lead over Chris Dickerson and Isaac Robinson 3 back. Matt Oram jumping up in the lead car with 11 under. My goodness, this man is persistent. He loves final round lead cards. He's been doing it for so long. We have an incredibly exciting final round coming for you. Wysocki going into the final round with a 2-shot lead has 20 wins and 3 second places. He is a front runner supreme. It might be a little bit rainy, but it's definitely going to be exciting. 1 more round to go. Fox Run Meadows coming up tomorrow for the 4th and final round at the Green Mountain Championship. For Brian Earhart and Jeremy Koling, we'll see you tomorrow.